Welcome along, fellow Dark Magician enthusiasts, to another video. Today's video, it's going to be a meta-analysis of this month's meta. Unfortunately, I did not hit King of Games. I tried grinding so much against the meta, but it was just, get up to rank 2, even like rank 3, and then just several losing matches in a row where like bricks or just get outplayed or skill outplayed, whatever. Unfortunately, just wasn't enough. Because realistically, DM's been power crept. Box dropped. Well, actually, 2 boxes dropped. A selection box with a whole bunch of new cards, especially for the skills. Like this, on your mark gets at Duel is for the new synchron skill. You got Fossil Dig for the new dinosaur deck. Then you've also got IP Masquerena, like just for generic interruption, which is still, it's pretty good. Subterra Final Battle for like, calling that card back for Subterra decks. And you got Scarred Resonance, which had Red Dragon Archfiend support, which has got the Synchron support as well. Dinosaurs. Then you've also got DD support. You've got the Subterrors. You got Springins, which is cool. You got DDDs, which, yeah, I did mention that. I'm losing train of thought. Yeah, and with those decks came some busted skills as well. It's pretty, I would say it's pretty nuts. Like all the stuff that's come out. Like DM's been, like, from what I was playing, like, it was pretty tough, but I will say, even though the meta is hard to play against with DM, I am very grateful that it's a lot more diverse now, rather than just what you would say, just hero and salad. Like, I prefer a ton of new meta decks than just heroes and salad. Like, heroes and Salamangreat are still good. They're still very good. But yeah, I'd honestly rather play some, like, against some other decks rather than just hero and Salamangreat all the time. Because, it gets, it's very draining to play the same decks. Like, to play against the same decks over and over and over and over and over again, and always have the skill be the crutch that outs your entire field. Now, there was a DM deck list that I saw that hit King of Games. If we look, Dark Magical Circle. With Bane of Darkness, it's a Buster Blader deck though. Which made me very suspicious. Because I've seen this happen before where someone got to King Games using Destiny Draw. And you all know how Destiny Draw is not that great of a skill. But it was with DM. And Play Miracle Mahard in the deck, which, based for using Mahard, but it's one of those moments where it's like, you can get to Legend Rank 5 with a different deck, get all the way to 3 wins, and then once you get your 4th win, you switch to a different deck. Some people have done that. Now I can't say whether this is a legit deck or not. Look, there are some players that are just better than me. I'm fairly sure there are some Dark Magician players that are better than me, but I try my best still. I tried this out, with a slight variation. The problem is, I was hand trapped and, just outed to death. Oh, and bricked to death as well. This is a very bricky deck. Because the problem is, this whole deck, looks cool, but it relies on the perfect combos. So, really, if you want to Buster Blader lock your opponent, you need to have the combo of Buster Dragon, you need to have the Buster Blader fusion on the field, you need to open with Buster Whelp, you need to also open with Dark Magician, and you also need to open with a Forbidden Lance to protect your monsters, even a DNA Surgery to disrupt your opponents, or even just other interruptions as well to keep yourself in the game. Like, it relies on a perfect hand, and that's not possible all the time. Like, it's very hard to get a perfect hand consistently all the time. Yeah, so I wasn't entirely sure about it. I gave it a try, it didn't work out for me. I don't know, maybe Stogie, the guy that the username that was on the deck list, maybe he's just built different. You know. This is my list. I will be making some refinements to this deck list. You know, for the memes, I'll show you plan. I might play Thousand Knives. Now you might be thinking, why play Thousand Knives? Like, because I know I've said it before, Thousand Knives is a bad card. You don't use it in this meta. What I do use though is Eternal Soul to grab Dark Magic attack during the opponent's turn if I need more negates. And what's funny about Eternal Soul, it can search Thousand Knives. So if you're running out of negates and you need an extra one, you can use Eternal Soul to grab another card to discard for negates. Pretty nuts. Like, it's something I didn't even realize until until an hour ago. I was like, wait a minute, Thousand Knives, I could use that for a negate. So, you know, with the KC Cup coming up, I might actually do that and see if I can get to D level max, which is not that hard. It's definitely hard, but it's not harder than King of Games. I will say that. Yeah, so that is the plan. But this meta, I'm grateful that it's more varied. Like, you know, there's dinosaurs, there's synchrons, there's resonators, there's springans, subterra. What I'm not pleased with though is the skills. I will show you why. So if we go the deck list, and we'll show you the deck list with the skills as well that have hit King of Games. King of Games. You know what? Let's go top rated this week. Here we go. Now we're getting new decks. Tuning of the Doom King. I haven't seen DD. Well, I haven't played against it. Now the skill. See, so, you know, you add Pendulum Zones, which is cool. Can't special summon any monsters, excluding special summon from the extra deck. Except DD monsters. So, like, as long as it's got D/D in the name, you can summon it from the hand in that. Which works. So, second effect of the skill, you reveal a triple D Doom King Armageddon in your hand, or a level 1 monster in your hand, then you add a level 2 or lower double D monster from your deck to your hand. If you control triple D Doom King Armageddon, or only your opponent controls a monster, you set a Dark Contract spell trap from your spell trap card from your deck, and the card can activate the same turn. Sorry if that sounded weird, but I speak a little bit fast sometimes, and then my words just get all blurred. So, triple Ds, or double D, triple D can set, you know, their Dark Contract traps from the deck and use them same turn. That's cool. That's really, really cool. I will say this is probably the one deck that I'm like, okay, you know, getting cool support that can use their traps in that same turn. Cool. Nice buff. It's cool to see Konami giving an older deck like this support so it can actually, you know, be rogue tier. Or even maybe tiered? I don't know. Tier 3? We'll see. I don't know how crazy it is. There's one day someone is going to find a busted combo with this deck and then it's going to go crazy. But we'll see. Like, it's cool to see that. Stardust Acceleration. This is one skill that I hate the most. I hate it the most. Let me show you why. So with Bane Darkness, you guys know, right, that so we have to shuffle a card from our hand into the deck, and then we reveal DM to get Buster Blader onto the field. And then after we normal summon DM, we get Polymerization and Diffusion Wave Motion. That's all the skill does. That's all our skill does. Here's what Stardust Acceleration does. So, if your extra deck doesn't contain Stardust Dragon, you can't use the second and third effects. So first effect just, you know, does the lock like Bane of Darkness does. Just different monsters. Effect 2 is reveal a Synchron monster in your hand, and shuffle a card from your hand into the deck, then add one on your mark, get set, duel from your deck to your hand. Now, this is a selection box card. And what on your mark, get set, duel does, when this card is activated, if you control no other cards, you can add one Synchron monster from your deck to your hand. So, what happens, you reveal a Synchron, put that same Synchron back, then you add this card to your hand, and you can just use on your mark, get set, duel to get that Synchron back. Then, what you can do with the third effect, you send a card from your hand or field to the graveyard, so you can send this, so your hand literally didn't change, all you did was just remove a card from the deck. Then you can add 6, you play a wheel Synchron. So from outside of your deck, wheel Synchron to your field. Add 6 different Synchron monsters to your extra deck, so you get Shooting Star Dragon, Junk Destroyer, Junk Archer, Junk Warrior, Stardust Warrior, and Jet Warrior to your extra deck. Then you send 3 different monsters to your graveyard, and they can all be special summoned. Formula Synchron, Sonic Chick, Speed Warrior. All goes to your graveyard. And that's what the skill does. Sets up your entire plays for synchros. We don't get to play that many cards. We don't get to add cards to an extra deck. I'm not a fan of what Konami's doing with these skills. It's absolutely egregious. It's ridiculous. Like if you're going first with this skill, and your opponent's got nowhere, like there's no hand trap at the moment that just blatantly gets rid of spells that are on the field. Like you just can't do anything about this. They just set up their whole graveyard and field and an extra deck. I don't like it. I don't like the skill design. It's bad, and also, of course, they can play this because the skill holds their hand, sets up everything for them, and it's not great. Then we have the Resonator deck. The Resonator cards are just really good. All the new support, very, very powerful. Someone got to COG with no skill using Resonators. They're very, very strong cards. Very good. Skill Witness Why I'm known as True King. So, does a lock, like Bane of Darkness does, just different monsters. Second effect is send a card from your hand and one card you control to the graveyard. Then you can play a level 8 Red Dragon Archery monster from your extra deck in face down defense position. Its battle position can be changed, so if any monster, any level 8 monster, contains the words Red Dragon Archfiend, this does, and this does, you can play it to your field face down and flip summon it. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Yeah, very, very busted skill. It's just like Heroes. You can play this to your field and use the effect to blow up your opponent's monsters. It's just a Raigeki pretty much for free. They can just play. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this either. Anyway, and then the third effect, if you control Red Nova Dragon or your opponent, or only your opponent controls a monster, you can set a Fiendish Chain from your hand or deck. It's crazy that Fiendish Chain is now coming back to meta. Absolutely nuts. But yeah, I'm not a fan of what Konami's doing with the skill designs. Just play the out immediately. If your opponent controls a card. And then yeah, that's it. Dark Magician doesn't get that though. No, we're not allowed to. We are not allowed to have anything good like that. Apparently. Tri Brigades got a skill too, which at the beginning of the duel, banish 4 different Tri Brigade Link monsters from outside of your deck. These cards can be special summoned. So pretty much, Tri Brigade Revolt is instantly online. And you can just you can get Tri Brigade Shurag the Ominous Omen out easy. I'm not a fan of it. It's, yeah. Anyway, just more Konami skill moments. I'm not seeing the other decks. Go back to newest. You scroll through, there should be dinos here somewhere, because I was going to show dinos originally. Oh, here's Subterra. So Subterra, you gotta, so with the skill here, you know, locked into Subterra monsters, except for the extra deck, of course. If you reveal a level 4 Subterra monster in your hand, so Subterra Guru, you can set a Hidden City or Subterra Final Battle from your hand or deck. If you set a card from your hand, you get to draw a card. Then, if only your opponent controls a monster, you can play a level 5 or higher Subterra monster from your hand or deck and face down defense position. Just yet another skill that's, like, you know, you can do so much with a single effect and get advantage like as if nothing ever changed, and just play. Like, I get that these are made to, like, these skills are made to make decks a lot more viable, but, you know, Dark Magician is being left in the dust. Yeah, it's not that great anymore. And there is the Dino skill, which should be here. There it is. Dino Awakening. Send a face-up non-dinosaur monster you control to the graveyard. You add a baby Ceresaurus from deck, so combo starter. And then you can send a card. Or then you have to send a card from your hand to the graveyard. So you do go a bit negative, but dinos can pop off like crazy. During your main phase, this is another version of, like, you know, Starving Venom Invasion, where you can just place a predator counter on your opponent's monster, and then your opponent would use Hydra to tribute it. What this Dino skill does, however, during your main phase, you can make one monster on the field become level 4 until the end of this turn. If it was a monster your opponent controls, you can also apply the following effect. That monster becomes dinosaur type until the end of this turn. This turn, you can normal summon one Soul-Eating Oviraptor in addition to your normal summon set. Which, part of Oviraptor's effect, you can target one other level 4 or lower dinosaur type monster on the field, destroy it, then special summon a dinosaur type monster from your graveyard. So, do you have a Dark Paladin on the field? Too bad, it's now a level 4 dinosaur monster. And Soul-Eating Oviraptor just pops it. What's even worse with dinosaurs is Miscellaneousaurus, which, if it's activated during the main phase, your opponent's dinosaur monsters aren't affected by your activated effects. So if you've got Dark Cavalry on the field, like, and you want to protect against Soul-Eating Oviraptor, did I say that wrong? Soul-Eating Oviraptor. You want to protect against that? If your opponent activates Miscellaneousaurus and you got no way to negate Miscellaneousaurus, just bye-bye Cavalry. You can't do anything about it. It's... You could probably tell how demotivated I am, which, you know, I am losing motivation, but, you know, seeing that Buster Blader deck, or Buster Blader DM deck hit Cog, it's like, okay, someone recognized that, like, you know, DM exists. Yeah, there's not really much else to this. I am hoping Konami adds support for DM soon for Duel Links. Like, not just for Rush, but for Speed. Because DM support is coming in the TCG OCG, which is exciting. But I don't want them to neglect Dark Magician. Like, this is a deck that I love. It's a deck that I'm working hard to try and push. And I want to help you guys too. So to round off the video, what can we do now that, like, you know, like we've been Power Crept, like what's left to do? Why not play Floodgates? Every other deck's playing Floodgates. The Buster Blader DM deck made me realize maybe Floodgates is the answer. Like, this is a whole list of cards you guys can use, like, you know, to boost your decks. So you got a bunch of monsters here, spells, traps. All these monsters, So these monsters you'd use in Battle Chronicle because you wouldn't want to discard from the hand and, like, lose hand advantage for your cavalry or paladin negates. These are all good cards. I won't go into too much depth about these cards, but, like, Kite Word's good for preventing damage. Necro Garden is good for negating attacks during your opponent's turn. This is a Floodgate, stops your opponent from attacking. You could say this is a bit of a Floodgate, like, just stops your opponent from activating the effects of a spell that you target with Blizzard. So, like, if you're playing against heroes and they've got Polymerization or Miracle Fusion, you can just go Blizzard target Miracle Fusion, and Miracle Fusion just does not work for the remainder of the turn. So that's essentially a Floodgate. Necro Valley, this will work against DM as well, but it's still a Floodgate. It messes with other decks. Warning Point, essentially a Floodgate, sort of, like, just stops your opponent from using that monster at all during their turn, or during the turn it's summoned. It also negates its effects. Drowning Mirror, I don't know why I added 2 copies of that. Fix that. Drowning Mirror Force, I'll save that. Yeah, I don't care. Drowning Mirror Force, punish the opponent for attacking directly. Rainbow Life, Floodgate, protects your life points. Curse Seal, the Forbidden Spell. You need to discard a spell card to use this card, but, like, it just stops your opponent from using any more spell cards with the same name that you just negated for the rest of the duel. So Floodgate, Hallowed Life Barrier, Floodgate again, protects your life points. Doesn't work against Lyrilusk Recital Starling, however. Keep that in mind. Does not work against that card. Or, like, the Battling Boxer card number 105. Doesn't work against that either. Like, cards like that won't work, but every other effect, like every other kind of damage, it will come, like, you're safe. And then you got Different Dimension Ground. Any monster sent to the graveyard are banished instead. It's just another Floodgate. That's literally all there is to the Floodgates. It's literally all there is to this game now. Just, if your deck's not powerful enough, play Floodgates. That's how it is. But with that being said, like, I will put a link to this in the description if you guys want to have a look. This is a good way, like, this isn't like an actual deck you should run. Not at all. This is just a list of cards that you could use to, counter the meta, like cards you can boost your deck with. So, yeah, just good list of cards. I will make a video soon on, like, a deck you can make as a free-to-play or new player. With just some structure deck cards and tickets. So, like, all of this you can get from tickets, trader, level ups. You can also get a bunch of these cards. Like, you'll spend a bit of gems here and there for boxes. But most of these you can get for free easy. So that way, anyone that wants to play DM can get their deck started out. And yeah, I will go over that in a new video soon. Yeah, just to try and help you guys out a bit more until we get some new support. But yeah, with that being said, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.